Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Sane Artist. We're gonna do our makeup today. I'm gonna keep it very simple today. I'm reading a little pop-up right now. Let's see, I need to do that, but not right now. Hello, I gotta get that light fixed this weekend. I'm gonna put that on that honey-do list that he loves so much. Okay, hi, let's do our makeup and stuff. I've got stuff everywhere. My goal in January, I'm gonna get this room organized. I'm going to, I had a list, my closet. And then there's painting our billiards room. Needs it. We got some work done in there, and so now it needs to get painted, and that's my department. I'm gonna zoom in. Oh, I didn't do, hold on. I'm gonna go and turn on my do not disturb. There we go. Always takes me a little bit of time on that one. I always forget it. But say hi when you get here. I don't have coffee, but I do have my Christmas mug. My sister got it for me. It says, "Oh dear," because my husband and I call each other dear, and I guess that's not common. But I got some water because I've been coughing. Hopefully I don't cough here. But we're gonna keep it really simple. I'm going shopping today with my mother for Gingerbread Day. It is this weekend. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Karen. Hello. My son is coming home this weekend, and he's bringing a friend. And and it's the first time he's been home and stayed here in a very long time. So I feel nervous. But we're doing Gingerbread Day. It's my husband's holiday party this weekend, but also Gingerbread Day is Sunday, where both of our families come together and we listen to Christmas music, we drink a couple drinks, and we decorate gingerbread houses and just hang out. What do I have on my shirt? Something. Anyway, we'll just leave that there. But we're gonna do our makeup. I'm gonna keep it simple. I am gonna use this month's shade of the month. I haven't shared about this a lot, so I think I should share about this. But it's Ice, and it's not what you would think. It's not like unicorn. It's not like any silver or white. This has a tinge of, I don't wanna say, it's like turquoise, but it's like an icy blue turquoise. Does that make sense? It's like an aqua ice. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, but family time's the best. I like Christmas when it comes to food, decorations. I love a warm and cozy home. I put trees up in the rooms that I use the most frequently because we have rooms, like we spend a lot of time in our den, and it was killing me not having a tree in there. It just didn't feel Christmassy in there, so I got a tree for a fake one. Anyways, we have a real tree up in the main part of the house, but I should start doing my makeup. But where's my, oh no, all my makeup is upstairs because I went on a trip. So now I've got to make this work. Okay. All my makeup is upstairs. So we're just going to be taking what I have and making this work. Biscuits and gravy, man. So we're going to use a brightening highlight as a primer because I don't want to run upstairs to go get it all. All right, I got highlights and contours here. But I like when holidays, hello, Abigail. I love when holidays are about gathering. That's probably why I like Thanksgiving so much. So I created Gingerbread Day last year because I was like, I want to get together and just have family time that's about family time. Like my son's getting gifts from me. He's not here on Christmas Day, but he's taking them home to put under his tree. He's not opening them up here. It creates segregation, you know? We're in the dining room and kitchen decorating gingerbread houses while somebody's doing Christmas, and I just don't like it. So, and so I did gingerbread so that we could exchange gifts with people we need to. So like my mom and my sister can give my son his gifts and he could take them home, and it's a place to exchange. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go into Sunlit, which is a yellow undertoned. Let's get into this. I use Saint Makeup. It is a cream-based 3D foundation. So everything in here is foundation. It works super great. I use a different eyeshadow primer, but you can use your highlight colors. So I guess we're gonna share about that today. And I'm just gonna spread this. I like Sunlit because it has that yellow undertone, which gives color cancellation, especially when you're using, or when you're using an eyelash serum. They can sometimes, oh, yay, Amaya, thank you so much. That's so fantastic. Okay. What a dream, I guess. Okay. But I want a day where it's about being with people, that's what it's about, and it's not greedy. My kids call me the Grinch, but it's just like, I still do all the things. I just don't like I don't like it when every time somebody calls me, it's with a list of things they want. Okay, so getting into the eyeshadows, we're gonna use what we have because I did go on a trip. I surprised my husband. He was at a conference / holiday party. Got some colors right here. And for the holiday party, I wasn't able to make it because my kids were in school. Anyways, I decided to surprise him, so I just showed up. I made arrangements with the kids. I called in the village. And I was able to get away for one night, and I surprised him, and it was so much fun. But now my stuff is upstairs because I was in a bit of a mad dash, so we'll be using what we have. I'm setting with a shadow. I like setting with a shadow. I'm using Cupcake. Very pretty color, but I'm keeping my makeup pretty neutral. I'm not even going to try to match my shirt because I got something on it, so I'll probably be changing it anyway. Okay, keeping it simple. We're going to use, I don't know what. I kind of want to use a cool tone, cool-ish tone, but a nice neutral brown. We're going with this guy right here. I've been loving these. So I've been using Sedona and Cafe as a really good second. And then I'm going to be using Ice. This is December's shade of the month. You can only get it this month. That's it. It's really nice because you could use it as an illuminator. You can put this on your lips. You can use this for a lot of different things. I'm just using the small end of my detail brush. I'm going to press into it, and I'm going to put this on my brow bone. I like having a touch of shimmer on my brow bone. It adds lift. It just does. Having that little punch of shimmer just pulls things up and out. All right, and then we're going to go into Cafe. I'm going to grab an eyeshadow brush, this guy right here, and we're going to do just essentially one color, and we're just adding a couple accents using Ice. That's what I like. Okay, let me just see. We've got those people here today. Okay, let's see. I do like a good purple shirt. I don't like when I get something on it, but I don't know what happened. You never know. I don't know. Okay, going into Cafe, I'm going to use the fluffy end of the eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to press this on, and we're going to start on the lid. We're going to press this on. This is a really easy way to do your eyeshadow if you think you can't do eyeshadow. And so you just start on the lid, press it all the way across using a fluffy brush just to spread it without condensing it. And it gives you control. And then I'm just going to use a little circular motion to press this up and out. I have a slight hood on this outside, so I like to make sure that whatever color I'm using is up onto this area right here. That way it will give the illusion that maybe I don't have a hood. And I do this after that shimmer, because if I do the shimmer up here, it'll press it down and then it'll hide it more. But I'm just using this fluffy brush. I'm not needing to add more, and I'm just pressing this up and out. I'm gonna grab a little bit with the small end, and we're just gonna go under the eye and add just a bit of smokiness. I always, always, always do my eyes first, because if it falls out, it's not gonna mess up and make my under eyes look darker than they are. Grabbing that Cafe again, going onto that lid, and we're just gonna press this all over the lid and then blending up and out. Up and out, super simple. This is the great place to get started, okay? I am not a makeup artist. I am a makeup hobbyist. I don't feel right calling myself a makeup artist. People go to school for that, and they do cut creases, and I do everyday makeup, and that's it. So no, I'm not an artist. I like playing with makeup, and I like showing makeup in a realistic way that's achievable. And there's a lot of videos out there that don't. Anyways, just pressing this up and out and working. Don't underestimate the amount of blending some eyeshadow looks make, because when you're watching those edited down videos, which I don't do a lot of because people think they can't do it, but sometimes it just means there was a lot of blending into it. And some people think I had to work so hard. So did they. Okay. That's true. Most makeup artists don't do cut creases, but man, they were very popular for a while. And that might be why I'm saying that. But all right, so I'm going to go in with ice. I'm just going to press this into my finger, putting that on, and I'm going to go on the inner lid here. And then I'm just going to lightly flick this outward. And this is just going to add a touch of brightness and a little lightness. I like having a touch of lightness right on this inner area here, and just pulling this out so that it fades really subtly across. Just like that. Having that openness is going to help with if you have hooded eyes. This helps condense, so if you can put it all over your lid and then pull it up and out and then add a lighter shimmer or a lighter color or a lighter matte, it helps open things up a little bit. All right, I'm going to call it on the eyeshadow now. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. It doesn't have to be a ton of different colors, and sometimes it's just about getting out the door. Okay, now we're going to figure out my colors, and I'm going to do my eyeliner, which I don't have because everything's upstairs. So we're going to improvise here. Where is, let's see, let's grab a line brush. Oh wait, I've got a multitasker brush. So we're going to figure this out. I like waterlining, and I'm going to use an eyeshadow here. Okay. All right, so we're going to, oops. Let's see. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. The more the merrier, the nicer the better. Because YouTube is scary, guys. It was a hard trigger to pull when I did pull it. It's been a couple years. But in the last year, it's definitely changed. So I'm glad you're here. And I love talking about makeup. That's all there is to it. Okay, so I'm going to dip back into those eyeshadows because I don't have my eyeliner with me, my liquid liner or any of that, because it's all upstairs. Okay, we're going to find a nice dark color. Kind of, let's see. Ooh, let's get spicy and do, what is this color? It's shimmery, it's dark, it's Junior Prom. We're gonna use this guy. I'm gonna use some setting spray, setting spray here. And if you have the OG one, it's a lot like the Fixate. I think that there's now niacinamide. Is it niacinamide that's in it? Okay. All right, so I just got this brush a little bit damp, and this is just going to punch up this Junior Prom color. This is a nice dark gunmetal blue, and I'm just gonna press this into it. And I'm gonna find a small palette, bam. And I'm going to look up, and I'm gonna waterline using eyeshadow, just pressing it up and into those lashes, but hitting that waterline. This is going to give the illusion of fuller lashes. So it just deepened the lash line, okay? And so we're going to go up, out, just like that. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, if you just pop in at any point, feel free to ask. But it's about not touching your eyeball. So I'm just pressing this onto the lashes and going onto that waterline. I'm not touching my eyeball and just tipping your head back. You touch your eyeball, you touch your eyeball, but don't stab it. But this is a method I like because it makes my lashes look fuller. I'm using a eyelash serum by Babe Lash, and I absolutely love it. I even have their mascara here, so I'll be able to use this one today. It's a really great mascara for if you want to add volume, because the serums are great, and I feel like they add length really well, but volume isn't necessarily something that I notice that they add. All right, so I've got the waterline. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I think I wanna, we'll use this, we'll just stay on one end. We'll see how this works. I don't like doing glitter glue and doing your eyes. So to get fallout from glitter, I would recommend getting a glitter glue. NYX has a really good one, super affordable, and doing your eye makeup first. I'm sure somebody will get on here and tell you another really good one to use. Also, that's just the one that I can think of right off the get. And so at doing your makeup first, especially if you're using a glitter, if you've ever done crafts, glitter will get everywhere. I mean, you're gonna have it in your hair, even though you just put it on your eyes. It's just the way that it is. But what you can do is you could tap that on and then you can sweep it out. Okay, and take it off as much as you can, and then start doing your makeup. And as you're doing your makeup, it can clean it up a little bit. I also feel like with glitter, less is more. A lot of people think you have to really pack it on, but glitter has a way of accentuating each other. And so you can, excuse me, do very little, but still get quite the shimmer off of it. And so less is more with it too. All right, so I've got Junior Prom, my brush is wet, and I'm just going to get this outer quarter of my lash line. And then I'm going to lift up on, once I get to the outer corner, I'm going to lift it up and off just a little bit. I don't do a very big wing. And then I'm going to use my fingernail just to grab that eyeshadow and pull. Grabbing that eyeshadow and pull, and it just creates this little wing. I don't do bold eyeliner. What I'm doing with my eyeliner is on purpose to give my eyes some lift. So I have this downward droop that's very natural. It is natural. And then if I add just a little bit of depth on the top of my outer quarter of my lashes on top, it gives that eye a little kick in the tush. And then adding that wing just extends it a little bit more. And then you could take this and you're gonna go right on the edge of the inner corner. You're not gonna go all the way across. If you're doing that, you can close the eye and it just adds heaviness on the mid. And so what we've done is I've waterlined to go all the way across where my lashes stop growing, and I add a touch on the outer and a touch on the inner. And when I add my mascara, it's gonna look like it went all the way across, but it's not weighing my lid down. Can't tell if somebody got here. Okay, same over here. We're just gonna press this onto that lash line. You wanna get it into the lash line and then up and out. I really prefer the etch brush, but again, I don't have all my brushes. My top 3 brands are, it really depends on what I'm going for. I would say a good mascara. I really like Lashtopia by Bare Minerals. I do like the, what is this one? The 4 Wheel Mascara by Babe Lash. And I like the L'Oreal. That one has another good one that's a dupe to the Bare Minerals one. So a good mascara can do wonders. And then if it just depends on what is important to you in your final look. So depends on the day, kind of. I like a good lip liner, and then I also like correctors because my stuff is a big insecurity of mine. And so if I could correct it, have mascara and a lip, then I could feel pretty decent. It doesn't have to be a full face of makeup. I do like a good medium to full coverage look, but if I have to just have 3 items, it would be correctors. It would be mascara, correctors, and a good lip liner. And I just found out that MAC has discontinued Half Red. It's probably been discontinued for a while. I've just had enough to get me by. So you can't get that, but if you did get the MAC Half Red when it was available, if you're needing to refill, Saint has Renaissance, which has a really good dense consistency that's not gonna bleed into any straw lines, and it stays really well. If you want one that works, I like this because you also have Fig, which is more of a lipstick formula, and that can create almost like a stain. And so it's really good. So you could use them together. You can use an either or, but Renaissance Lip and Cheek with Saint is the perfect dupe for it. I like a good pencil. I wish you could just send something in and have a pencil made. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice. Okay, so Junior Prom, I'm noticing some smoking that needs to go into the lashes. All right, essentially finished with the eyeliner, and now we're gonna go in and we're gonna do mascara. And so this is gonna give that illusion that my eyeliner goes all the way across, but it doesn't. And with eyeshadow, there is fallout. And I do like to zoom in and out so you can kind of see things. I don't use beauty filters. They're fun, but not when you're showing makeup. A really hard time with that one. All right, this is the Babe Lash. This is the 4 Real Mascara. Really great wand. I don't typically like silicone wands. This one's great. It has a little bit of a dome end to help you get into little areas, but you're gonna go right to the base and wiggle it and get those lashes into the bristles and then lift. And this is just going to help create that volume, because I think my serum, it's definitely given me length, but I'm not getting any new hairs. And so what I'm doing is just building up product between lashes at the base. I don't like doing that at the top because then it can look a little tarantula-y. But as I'm adding it, it just looks like I have a liner that goes all the way across. And then by lifting upward, it keeps it from getting too clumpy. And then I just use that tip to kind of smooth that transition from the base to the top. Okay. Going around, picking it up because I need another one. But then we're just gonna start adding towards the top. So just adding it at the mid to transition it so you don't end up with clump and then thin. And then we're just going up, up, up to the top, top, top. And then once I get to the top, as it's getting a bit tacky, I can just flick at the tips. That way it adds length by building on top of each other and it makes it look longer, or it adds all the product to those very thin, fine tips of the lashes. But using this little round end at the tip helps you get into those inner corners and the outer corner. Easy peasy. But it does take some time. And then get in on the bottom, just adding a touch to my lower lash line. I don't do a whole lot because I don't have a whole lot. Okay, we're not gonna have this. If any of my regulars are here, I love when they pop in around this time because it's great. Okay, would you recommend the Advent calendar? Yes, yes, because I love the Advent calendar so much. Where is it? I think I took one with me. I took a bunch with me on my trip. These are such good colors because they're not like any of the other colors out there. I think my favorite neutral color that they have was Peppermint. It has a touch of pink, and Lemon Drops was just this really beautiful, perfect, creamy gold that wasn't overpowering because they have Blondie and it just is too much. And so Lemon Drops is very light and smooth, and I love the Advent. There's nothing, I cannot tell you a good dupe for any of the Advent colors for colors we already have. So yeah, I do think it's worth it. Lemon Drops, it was one of the colors that I found myself looking at a lot because it would get on and it was just one of those surprisingly lovely golds that's really hard to find because usually I'll say use Georgia Illuminator, and this is better than Georgia Illuminator. And then there's Peppermint, which is a light pink. They have a more punchy pink. I can't remember the names of them now because they're packed, but that one goes really well. All the colors go really well as illuminators. Surprisingly, there's one that looks icy blue. I don't know if I took that one. I probably did because I did. Oh, it's right here. This one right here, Blue Satin, is stunning. It looks blue, but it has a bit of purple iridescent to it. So pretty, but they're all very soft and can be used as illuminators and also works really well over blushes. So you remember when you would put lipstick on and then you'd set it with powder and put lipstick on again? It sets the blush and it holds longer, so it's great for holiday parties. Okay. They will be making these colors available. They won't be the shades of the month like they usually do. So they will be releasing them next year. We just don't know when. They have a lot of new eyeshadows coming out in the next year. Okay. It was so fun doing the Advent. It makes me sad when it ends, but I've been playing with them a lot. I know a lot of people liked the woodland color, and it is very pretty. I just found it to be really hard to pick up, but it's a bit of a copper color, and we could put that on today. Let's try putting some of that on over here. It's so pretty. It's a bit moody. mix it with that. I'm using the shade of the month, which is Ice, and it's so pretty. Okay, grabbing this wand, we're gonna get this other side on, and then we're gonna start talking about covering all my stuff. So getting in at that base, wiggling up. I feel like I could do a whole video on just putting on mascara. I've been using the Tartelette tubing, and I'm not a big fan. I don't like how my lashes look when I'm done. They look like they're sticking together, and I like them to be as individual as possible. But yeah, I need to get more of this stuff. This stuff is pretty good. And it's less expensive than the Bare Minerals, which is my favorite. But I would say my Bare Minerals for expensive mascara, that one will last you a long time. Whereas I think the less expensive mascaras, they just dry out a lot faster. So you're still having to pay that much because you're replacing them more frequently. Okay, done. And that's it. And this will all look way better once all this looks way better. I promise. Okay, going in, I'm going to use my Milk Hydro Grip as my primer. I've been using the Plush and Prep Mist with a new setting spray that's upstairs, and it is the Blue Pearl. It's so good. Okay, you would recommend? Yes. Karen loves the Advent colors, and they're very her style. And they're so pretty, and they're not over, I just don't think they're overdone. I don't think you can have 12 colors that'll check everyone's box, but I would say they're a good 90% great. I recommend it because it's also, you can buy them individually when they come out, but I think you'll still pay less if you buy the Advent, depending on how many you would get. But I love the pinks that are in it. There's a purple one, and that one's my husband's favorite, which surprised me because he just kept saying, it reminds me of something, I don't know what. Okay. So Milk Hydro Grip, love this primer, really great. I have oily skin. A lot of people think you can't wear cream makeup with oily skin, and you can. You absolutely can. So we're gonna get into highlight colors. And if you want a color match, just send me a makeup-free picture facing a window a couple steps back. I just need to be able to see your stuff and your colors, and that's it. All right, let's pick a color. Hazel is too dark, I do know that. We're gonna grab, is this Sandy? Athens. Oof. Trying to find all the colors I need. I have Hazel in here twice. I think I'm going to use Athens and Amber together. I need that warmth. Maybe I'll just use Athens. I'm gonna just use Athens. And we're gonna find a brush that's not super dirty, but they're all pretty. They're all pretty darn dirty. I'm gonna use the 3D brush. It's a great brush. This is a good fan favorite brush. I haven't heard anything about the Pilot brush, but this one's a goodie too. I hope it comes out this year. All right, I'm gonna go into Athens, and we're gonna correct, because that is one of my top things that I have to have is my correctors. So I'm gonna take Aspen first. And I'm gonna use, do I have a blend brush? I have a blend brush right here. And I use the small end of the blend brush. I go in, this is a really light contour that's gray, color concrete. And that is gonna go over my scarring. So I had cystic acne, and it created a lot of skin discoloration on my cheeks. And then I have a little bit that comes down here. And then great for if you just have redness, if you have, depending on your rosacea, if you have that deep purple rosacea, I wouldn't recommend this because it's just going to turn it into a bruise. So everybody's different, but if it's a bit red like this, I just take this and I just mute the color. See that? You still see the stuff. This is not the point of correcting. It's not covering. It's correcting. And so I'm just muting the redness so that when I lay my makeup on top, I can use less to get the most coverage, but also using this dense color, it's going to hold the makeup on top of it really well. I'm going to go right around my nose for my broken capillaries, and then I get a little red above my brows and on my chin, like that. All right, the next color I'm going to go into is Walnut, and it's because I don't have a suede lip liner. So I'm going to go with Walnut, which is the next shade up, and this has a little bit more of a brown tone to it, but these are two contour colors I would never recommend as a contour. They're just too light. All right, and I'm gonna use the big end of the blend brush. We're gonna go into walnut, and I'm gonna go around my hyperpigmentation here, and we're just putting a tone surrounding it. I have it growing up into my temple here, and this is just giving a camouflaging effect. You're still seeing it, but I'm changing the tone around it so that when I lay my makeup on, it camouflages it beautifully. I have another one here, and then some growing in. I'm growing a little melasma garden on my face, and so I just bring this up and down just to have a cohesivity. It helps with the camouflaging effect. Okay, so we're just hiding all of that. If you are trying to camouflage some of your freckles, you can certainly do that. I know some people get discoloration on their nose, and you could just swipe it everywhere. I have hyperpigmentation here, and I just kind of bring it around. Really, right now, putting it down here is just gonna help. It's just gonna help hold makeup on top so that when I put my coverage on, my coverage will last all day. Okay, now we're gonna go in to, do I have a balm? I've gotta have a balm in my Demi palette, right? Trying to make it all figure out. Okay, got some right here. Just using a little small tin of balm, and I'm gonna put this under my eyes. This is gonna help clean up any fallout that I have, but it's also going to create hydration under my eyes where I'm a bit dry, and it can look really crepey when I lay a color on top of it. And so we're just gonna press that out and over, and we're gonna be using Demi under our eyes today because I don't have any of my other colors. Okay, grabbing a Demi brush, or just a brush. Where's a good Demi brush? I swear I just saw one. I did, right? That's not it. Where? Oh, there we go. This is a bright brush. It's like an eyeshadow brush. It's long. I've been using one of these as an eyeshadow brush, and it's so good. Everybody's under eyes are different. Sometimes you're one color, sometimes you're two colors. I'm gonna use these two. This right here is Y01, so it's yellow orange level 1 because I'm not super crazy dark, but I get dark on this inner corner and into this front trough area, just around this. And then out here is just a little discolored, so I'll use 03 right here. So I'm gonna use the small end. I'm just gonna stamp straight down. We don't need a lot of product. And I'm just gonna go over my darkness with Y01. And it's so good. Just grab a little more. We're gonna go into this trough area here and just cancel out this discoloration. Grabbing it again. We're gonna go into this discoloration here. And you could flip it to the fluffy end if you need to, but just canceling that darkness. And this is why a color match is so important, because everybody's under eyes are a little different. Some people will grab Y01 thinking we're the same, and it looks chalky. And if it looks chalky, it's because it's the wrong color. I'm gonna use this fluffy end. I'm gonna go into 03 because I don't need a whole lot. And I'm just gonna clean up some of the discoloration on the outside right here. Okay, grabbing it, going and just cleaning up some of this darkness that I have. And there's my under eyes. But using a balm first helps reduce crepiness, it hydrates, it's really great. Okay, let's put our makeup on. I'm gonna use the 3D brush. I'm gonna go into Athens. There's a color for everybody, but I'm gonna go into Athens, and I'm just gonna stamp it in. You just need to stamp these in. These are 80% pigmentation, so yeah, it's small. Let's see, can I tell you how much is in here without going to getting raters? 4 grams. 80% pigmentation, so you need a little to get coverage. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over my scarring here. You see how it just matches, goes into my nose area for redness, around my mouth, and pressing it into my chin. And it gives me my coverage, but also my contour and my bronzer and my blush will all do that too. But for my main shade, I just wanna balance my skin tone. And you don't need a lot. So these will last you, I would say this is a color that you would need to replace more frequently, and it'll last you 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months for this little tiny, when I opened these the first time, I was like, oh, who? And it will last you such a long time because of the pigmentation. So if you're used to full coverage makeup, you're gonna over apply this because you're expecting that kind of thinner coverage where you need to pile more on when you don't need to do that. And so you take something that just is a little bit uneven and it just evens it out really nice. And I only put this over my scarring, into my nose area where I have broken capillaries, around my mouth, and then it comes up my jawline here, just to create a little bit of balance. Okay? And this color is really good if you have redness. It's something that I'll take into account. When I'm looking at your picture for color matching, I'm going to be looking at your skin the way I look at mine. And I'm just gonna press this around. It's not a full coverage amount on my face, but it gives a full coverage look. Bringing it down my neck, because our necks are always lighter than our face. It's just an easy makeup because it's 3D makeup. It's kind of like a paint by numbers. And so you don't need to use as much. I don't need to color my whole face with this. I have eyeshadow still on my wrist. I only need to place this really on the beard of my face because everything in here is gonna work as a foundation. All right, I'm gonna go over here to a color that's a little too light, but it's the same one as I used on the eyelids, which is Sunlit, and it looks yellow. I'm gonna use the pointy end of this brush, and I'm gonna go right here. Your brightening highlight should be lighter than your skin tone. And this is going to give the illusion of reflecting light. You see a light reflecting off, and this is just going to accentuate that, but also giving you coverage. If you have a high texture area, I'll also take that into account, and I may say skip brightening and just use your main highlight in these areas. And you'll get a really beautiful effect, but using a color that's too light when you have high texture can accentuate that texture. And so sometimes just using a main shade, because it's not that far off, it's just a little extra touch that a lot of people really like. I'm gonna do my nose last. I'm putting my brightening on my chin and my Cupid's bow. It's a pretty area, and then I'm just gonna use the other end just to tap it out. But it accentuates this already very beautiful area, just like that. I do like doing things in a certain order, and there's like always a rhythm to my madness, and one of it is I have a bump right here on my nose, and so if I put my brightening here first, it takes a little bit more work, but I am able to use my brightening as a tool to camouflage my bump and straighten my nose out. All right, okay. Let's see. We're gonna stop on the brightening for just a little bit because I'm gonna wait for my under eyes and my nose, and we're gonna go into contouring. I'm gonna use, I like Stone, but I kind of wanna use another color. What color is this? Cedar. Cedar is a fun color because it works really well with hyperpigmentation. I've had some people say to me, hey, I'm using the, where did I put my, perfect, okay. I'm using Cedar, it's just not showing up as punchy. So I'm gonna show you 2 ways to do this, and one of them is with bronzer. And so you can go in using the same brush. I'm not cleaning it in between colors. You're putting very little, like my bristles aren't sticking together. Because these are super pigmented, you tap in and you don't need a lot. And so I'm just gonna sweep this on either side of my forehead, and then I bridge together in the middle, and then I bring it to this outer part of my brow. This is why I do my brows last too. And then up and flick into the hair. This also works really well, this color, if you have blonde hair. Sometimes if people are using indigo, it can pull out their hyperpigmentation, accentuate their freckles, and it looks messy in their blonde hair. But this is a good neutral color. I'm gonna switch to the pointy end, and I'm just gonna bring this up and out and let my brightening and my contour merge together. My hair is also needing to get moved, just like that. And so I didn't need to put any of my main highlight on. I was just putting my Sunlit brightening here, my contour, and as they came together, it balances and creates more of a main shade. So you're not needing to use all this product. You can save the product for another day. But if you find that you need your contour to be a little more punchy and you have our bronzer, the Bella bronzer, you can take, I'm trying to hold these together side by side. You can take these 2 colors. So contour is cool, bronzers are brown. You can take it and you can grab some of that cedar and then tap once into your bronzer, and it just punches it up a little bit more. And it works kind of like indigo, but it doesn't pull that hyperpigmentation and freckling through. It just punches it up a little bit more. Just gonna balance things out here. Okay, and so if you find that you're contouring, you're using cedar and you have hyperpigmentation, you want to punch it up a little bit, just tap a little bit into your bronzer. You don't need to go buy a whole new anything. You can use these colors together. They're all creams, they're all formulated the same, and that's it. Okay, going into cedar, and a lot of people have a hard time with contouring. We have natural shadowing. We're not wanting to go into it. It'll blend down here, which we don't want to do. I put mine on like a bronzer, and I go right on top of my cheekbone and up. This is a pretty fat brush, and so it works really well, and it naturally falls into that natural shadow, just like that. Grabbing it again, doing the same thing. And again, this color goes so well with my hyperpigmentation that it camouflages it even more. I stipple on my cheeks because of my color correcting, and I want it to stay where I put it, and I'm not wanting to mess with it too much or compromise it. And so I just tap it in, just like that. All right, gonna go in, we're gonna do the nose. The nose is a tricky thing for me. I like using my finger, and I'm gonna start on the crook right where the brow comes down onto the nose. And then I use that as my straight line guide, and I go straight down. And you can use your finger and then fluff it into that brow. Your nose shadow should kind of follow the arch of your orbital bone. And so I just always start in the crook, bring it straight down, and you could square it off. And I just find this to be the easiest way. And you can mess it up and you can bring it together. I don't like turning my whole nose one shade of brown, but I focus it on the sides and then bringing it up naturally into my brows. And this I have found with a very light touch works beautifully. Taking that brush, I'm just gonna blend here. And when I do my under eyes, it'll give everything a good final blend. All right, just tapping it out with the brush. And then we're gonna take this pointy end. We're gonna get that brightening highlight, Sunlit, that we used. Put my contour back. And we're going to use that pointy end. We're going to grab Sunlit. I'm going to pinch it, make it a straight line. You're going to tap on, and then we're going to go right down the middle. If you have a crooked nose, a bump on your nose, just sweep it down and then use your finger to tap it out. And then it picks up excess and it blends it out without pushing it really far out, because if you let that brightening go really far out, it's gonna widen the nose. So this just gives it a nice natural sleek sheen of reflecting light that looks so pretty. So pretty. Okay, let's find a blush. Blushes are hard. I have scarring, and so I like finding colors that work really well with my scarring. I'm gonna use, but I like pinks. I'm gonna use two colors here. This is Frenchie, which I will use under my eyes sometimes. This is a really good color. People find that it falls flat, so I don't think this is a standalone color, but I'm gonna go over my scarring right here for coverage, but it's also going to help with this. I like using a couple colors on my cheeks. I mean, our face is a couple colors. Why wouldn't our blush? All right, I'm gonna go into my bronzer. Bella bronzer is my favorite. And I'm gonna hit right up in this area here. I want a little more. I like having warmth. I'm gonna add more up here and then up here. So I haven't fully blended anything. I'm just getting ready to blend this all into one color, but they'll work really well together. I'm gonna grab, ooh, is this what I think it is? Dahlia. It's not just for summer. I'm gonna grab a little bit of Dahlia and I'm just gonna pop that right here in the middle of all that bronzer. That's it. Dahlia will pull my scarring through, so having that Frenchie there first. We're gonna grab that 3D brush on the shorter end and I'm gonna go into my bronzer first. I'm just gonna blend this around, bringing it to the temple, and then I'm gonna start tapping this up here, and I really focus on this bronzer Dahlia area, and then lastly I'll bring it down to the apple. So I'm 44, and as you get older you lose volume in your cheeks, so you don't have that nice round little face, but doing this helps by adding that little light color. Saint-Tropez, Daylily, Frenchie, really good options for this. Madrid is also good. And so having a touch of a color that's not far off helps give you a natural suppleness to your cheeks. Okay, so blending that bronzer, coming down the temple onto that cheekbone. I try to smile a little because then you can kind of see where everything's supposed to go. And then we bring it down onto that apple. And here's where we get to fix things up, because then I can do my under eyes and it makes it easy, but that's it. I don't add any more color until everything's on. There's something not clicked in. Okay. We're gonna grab that cedar. I'm gonna go in on that pointy and I'm gonna pinch it. And then we're going to tap into cedar. We're gonna make our lips look fuller. So we're just gonna grab that. We're gonna go right down here and then up here. Instead of outer lining our lips, I don't do any of the injectables. And so I'm not against them. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. If you want them, get them, because it probably looks fantastic. I'm just terrified. And so we're just gonna sweep this out. This gives the illusion of a curl. I just gave my lips a little bit of volume without having to outer line them and looking a little like a clown. I think I look like a clown when I do it that way. And I just think there's a definite definition on my lips that if I outer line, everybody's gonna know. Okay. And then we can go in and we can do a lip liner. So we're gonna grab, I'm gonna do my under eyes last because it just comes together so well when I do it that way. All right, we're gonna go into our lip and cheeks. I hope I didn't take Renaissance with me. Biscuits and gravy. Do I have one just laying around? Oh, dang it, I do. All right, this is Renaissance. And this is a really good dupe for MAC Half Red. This is all I have left of MAC Half Red. This is a great dupe for it. So that is MAC Half Red. I love this color. It's very dark, but it goes really well with neutrals. And then this is Renaissance, which is pretty dang close. And it's dense. And if there's anything, if you've watched any of my videos where I talk about lips, or if you've seen any of my lives, you know density is really important to me. I like a dense base, like Aspen and Suede lip liner or Walnut contour under my makeup to hold my makeup on. I want longevity out of this. I don't want to be mad at my makeup in 2 hours. And that was one of the deal breakers with pretty much every makeup I've ever tried until I tried Saint. I always liked my makeup. It needed a lot of work by noon. But I always have loved like the ritual of makeup, putting it on the way I feel in my makeup, because that's all makeup is for, is to make us feel our most confident, however that looks. And I just found I would crack, gather, crack. It would look really crepey, separate, and it never stayed. And I couldn't reset it. It was very stiff. And I like a dewy finish now, because dewy finishes are really good for mature skin. But traditional foundations tend to settle into those fine lines, and my fine lines just kept getting deeper. And I didn't like it. Okay, we're gonna go into, this is the brush I used on my eyeliner, so we're gonna go to the pointy end. We're gonna grab some of this Renaissance. It is so dense. I mean, you could see how dense this is. And then I'm gonna line my lips. We're gonna go to the edge, not over. To the edge, not over. And having a good dense liner when you're maturing helps with bleed out. Like if you're gonna wear a lipstick and it's very creamy, you want a dam. You want a dam to keep the lipstick from spilling into your straw lines, which I have. And I don't want my grandma, she loved herself like a frosty hot pink lip in her 70s. And she was a heavy duty smoker. She had her Winstons and she had her Newports. And so she'd always be smoking a cigarette. That was her breakfast, was coffee, a cookie, and a cigarette every morning. I think Newports were her morning cigarette and her dessert cigarette. And then Winstons were her daytime cigarette. The things you can remember. But she had those lines and I always noticed that it would bleed out. So on your lips, I just want to show this. We're going to really get into business here. You have your lip line that goes up, but you have an inner line over here. If you have maturing lips, hit that inner line out here and dip it down to your lip line. You don't need this area filled in. You can conceal it. Nobody's gonna notice it. Get that inner lip line and dip it down, and it's gonna give your lip a fuller look. Going to that inner, and then dip it down. And then fill in the corners. This will give you a pucker. But using a dark color, like Renaissance, really need to get to that edge without outer lining. But this gives you a tint, and I know it looks like a color, but then we can add color, a different color with it. But by adding that inner lip line, it creates a pucker and it gives you more volume, a natural volume. You want a natural volume. And pay attention to your lips. If they need a little work, they need a little work. With lip liner, I mean, not like, you know, work. Anyway, all right, Renaissance is on, and then you can go in with a good lip color. I just don't think there's really seasons that need seasons. You could do whatever you want. I'm gonna go into, what color is this one? This feels pretty. Sunshine State. Renaissance goes with everything. It goes with peach, it goes with neutrals. Oh gosh, I don't have any of my colors with me. This is killing me, killing me. I'm trying to see if I have a neutral gloss. I've been going very neutral on the lips lately. So we're gonna take Sunshine State. This looks super pink. It's sheer. It has such a pretty color to it, but it has a touch of pink, but it has a bit of shimmer to it. And you just pop that on and you work it with that Renaissance. So pretty, gives you a natural flushness. I mean, it's cold outside, okay? And you can pop that on. You could put this with any color. I also like it with Frenchie, which I put on my cheeks. And I like things that do more than one thing, okay? Also, I like a color that's hydrating, so I use the glosses or the semi-glosses with it. But you can take that Frenchie color that I had on my cheeks, you can tap that right in the middle, and you could work it into that Sunshine State for a little dimension. People like doing that concealer thing, and I don't dig it. But that's how I like my lips to look. But adding that shadow instead of outer lining gives you a more natural, fuller look rather than that hard liner line. Okay, we're gonna do brows really quick. I use eyeshadow, and I like the color Trust. Let's see if I've got it in here. It looks like I do. I like going a little bit darker. Whoop. Right there. We're gonna grab a line brush, which is just an angle brush. If you have an angle brush, that's what you need. Where is it buried? Boom. A little angle brush. Okay. We're just gonna tap in, and then we're gonna start. I need a mirror. There's just no way. I have very thin brows. We're going in. I have very thin brows. They don't make a whole lot of a shape. They have sort of a shape, but I get a little bald. They're a bit short. I mean, they stop almost before my eye does. And I have maybe 2 hairs over here. So what I do is I start on the inner corner on the bottom, and we're gonna draw that line up and over. And we're gonna give it a nice shape. Okay? We're gonna follow that. Now my brow stops here, but instead, I'm going to continue. And I go about halfway into my temple. It's gonna look a little weird until it doesn't. And that's kind of how all makeup is. I'm gonna go about 1/4 of the way in, and I'm gonna draw in my arch at the top. And I always tweeze after I do this, that way I don't over tweeze like I did in 1991. All right, maybe 1992. Okay, and so I drew that upper line, and do you see how it's structuring that brow? Added a little more, and we're just gonna flick at the front. Okay, flicking at the front, and then I can start blending. And I'm blending from this bottom hard line up and into my brow, giving a flicking motion on this front corner. And then I can press this line inward to let it fade in. And then I just start blending, blending, blending. If I need to add more, I'll just touch a little bit more to fill in any bald spots, Fill in that tail. I just blending from the two lines that met, and that's my brow. I like a structured brow, okay? Marrakesh. I love Marrakesh, and it's upstairs. I use it as a lip and a cheek color. Yes, it's so pretty, and I really like using it with the shape brush. Marrakesh and Daylily are my two top picks for the lip and cheek releases. They are my favorite. If you're unsure about one of those reds, Ever Red Always. Ever Red Always, all the time. That one's my favorite. But Marrakesh, so what I do is I do my cheeks a lot like I just now did, where I have the bronzer and then I put Daylily where I had Frenchie. And once I get my whole face on, I'll take the silver shape brush, which is a must get because once they get rid of the silvers, the shape is changed and it's not the same. But just really lightly hitting the tops of the cheeks, not the whole cheek, just almost like the tops of the orbitals. It's stunning. And it's just one of those, it's very punchy. And so you want to go really light and build. So just tap, tap. Tap, tap with a really nice light coverage fluffy brush like this shape brush, and just the tops of the cheeks, just to add that little cold flushness. I've even added it to the bridge of my nose. It's an all season color. I don't care. I just think pinks can be worn whenever you doggone please. There's not another color like Marrakesh. And I love the consistency that they've come out with these semi-glosses. They're more like a lipstick. It's so, so pretty. I am doing my under eyes very last because my brows have fallout. Also, if you're wondering why I haven't done my eyes yet, it's not because I forgot. It's just because I'm using a dark color and I don't want it to mess up my under eyes. If I use a dark color around my eyes and it falls out, it just makes them look even more mature, and I have to change the way I smile because I have my fine lines that are coming in, and it just makes them look deeper if I get dark eyeshadow in them. So we're just gonna flick and blend and blend and blend. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. Don't overthink them unless they're drastically different. We're gonna get this one's my hardest one, I think. And then I just use my comb. If you don't have really long brow hairs, you don't need the brow wax. You don't need a brow wax. One of my favorite products was CoverGirl's Clear Mascara. It's what I've used for a long time, and I do prefer it, but I do also like things in one place. But I don't find myself really needing the brow wax very often. Okay, I'm gonna take this shape brush and we're just gonna dust off any fallout so that we can go over all of that. Okay. I kind of want to try Dahlia to show how I use Marrakesh. It's just a different formula and it's a bit more dense, whereas Marrakesh is very easy to pick up, and I don't feel like Dahlia is. Okay. Going into Sunlit for my brightening highlight. I need some water. I can hear it. Sound like a frog. I need to add this link. I need to remember to do that after this, but I'm going to stay zoomed in so you can see my under eyes. Blue Marble setting spray. It's on Amazon. It is a little pricey. It's a sealing setting spray. I haven't had to use any powder since I started using it. It is such a good setting spray, but I'm not going to be able to use it today. All right, we're going to go in with Scary Sunlit. This is a really good one if you have under eye discoloration. It's such a good color. It's not for everyone, and so I don't always recommend it. Sometimes I just say Daylily. I like something that does more than one thing, so I will typically recommend a lip and cheek for correctors over Demi, unless I really think Demi would benefit the most. All right, we're gonna go in with the blend brush. I like the short, small end. We're gonna go into Sunlit. It should just be on the tips of the bristles. Now, when you're looking at our face, we have markers. We have a natural sheen right here, and then we have our trough. And so I'm wanting to camouflage puffiness, texture. This is the last place you want to put any product when we're doing our brightening, because again, 80% pigmentation right here. It is a thicker product, so we're wanting less for more. Okay, 80% pigmentation. We need very little to get that punch. I've used Tarte. I'm gonna try to not knock everything over. Creamy. I like it. The pigmentation isn't as high. And so I have found that my darkness pulls through about 2 hours in. It doesn't with this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work around my soft tissue. So this trough here is a marker to say it's like a cliff. We have our grounding, we've got our orbital bone, and we also have the other side. This is like a bridge, it's like a hammock, but it is soft, easy texture. All right, you see that? And so you're not wanting to add a lot of product to it because it's going to accentuate the crepiness of that skin, because it doesn't have anything holding it, so it's going to look crepey. And then if you have fine lines, it's going to accentuate that because you have too much. Okay, so we're gonna work around the marker. So I'm going into that shine because I'm trying to mimic the shine. Do you see how pretty that looks already? And it's already like condensed. I'm gonna come up that orbital bone towards that brow. And then I'm gonna come up the outside of that trough and into that inner corner. And I'm stippling this. And I'm gonna use the fluffy end to bridge it to the nose contour. And we are just going to be around that trough, creating brightness, reflecting light, and we're getting the base product off that brush, and then we're gonna take all this spread out product and we're gonna bring it in to the soft tissue. Texture is always gonna be there, okay? The crepiness is still there. My fine lines ain't going nowhere, but we're not going to accentuate them, okay? We don't accentuate them. We're just accentuating the glow that we think is gone from our skin, and we're just using products that can enhance things rather than accentuate the naughty things like dreaded fine lines. But it creates this really nice brightness. It's clean looking, and my darkness is canceled, and I have that brightness that's so good. You see that? But I still have troughs. I still have fine lines. They're there. They're not accentuated. They're not accentuated. And the texture of my skin is enhanced. Do you see how that works? Like, the skin is a texture, and using a cream makeup turns them almost into like a luscious fleck. Okay, it gives you that dewy. I don't have illuminators on, but the texture of my skin with the cream has a luminous look to it without having to go and grab an illuminator. I don't use illuminators. I don't like them. I think they jump me from dewy to greasy. But you can use your skin to create the flecks using a good cream makeup. When you're using other creams like Merit, which I have used, it's half the pigmentation. So you still need a little bit more product to get the result. You'll still get that dewy fleck with the skin texture though, because creams are a really powerful product right now, especially for maturing skin. It works with your skin rather than against your skin. You're not fighting the test of time using a cream makeup. All right, going in to Sunlit again, and we're gonna go into that shine. Okay, going up that orbital bone. Clean. I feel like I need extra light here. Let's see, do I have one? Oh, trying to dim it just a touch. Okay, going up that orbital bone, getting that outer corner area. Okay, up. And then we're gonna go up to that inner corner here. This helps rein in that contour that might've gotten a little out of touch, but we're going around that trough, and then we go into the trough. I love doing lives because we talk about a lot of things, but also I'm able to zoom in where I can't do that with my tutorials. It gets difficult, but this gives a nice natural luminous look. Some people like to bring this way down and around the nose. Totally can do that. Can look really good, especially on your smile lines. Can help to camouflage them because lightness pulls out, whereas contour and darkness pulls in. So this can help enhance those areas. And if you ever feel that there's too much product and it's cracking, you just take your finger with Saint and you reset it. And you can't do that with Tarte, and you can't do that with traditional setting foundations, but with Saint you can. So if you notice that you have cracking or gathering or creasing with your under eyes, you just take your finger and you reset it. And you you can't do that with other products. And I say that because when you smile, you're taking the product that we've laid that's nice and thin and beautiful, but then we've pressed it. And if you've ever done painting and you press those two colors together, it gets goopy and it sticks together and then it settles in. And that's what's happening with the makeup. So it's inevitable if you have fine lines. It's makeup, not magic. And so all you have to do though is tap it back out and it resets it like new. Same right here. If you notice that it's gathering or cracking, maybe there's too much product there, but you just have to reset it. It's makeup, not magic, but having a makeup you can work with throughout the day where you don't have to wash your face at the end of the night to go out and you don't have to redo your whole face. I went and surprised my husband this weekend and I had to do my makeup for he had a fancy schmancy banquet dinner. I had to do my makeup at, I think it was 9 or 10 a.m., 9 a.m., and I was on the road by noon and I didn't get there until 3. And I had to have my makeup last because the banquet didn't start till 5:30. And I didn't have to wash my face. All I had to do was add a couple of things, like a little depth to my eyeshadow. I punched up my blush with a little bit of Marrakesh, and I just added some more lip. But my makeup still held firm where I had put it. Oh, marionette lines, if you get them right here, you just add a little bit of brightening there too. But you don't just draw a line and tap it out. You want to play with it and get it right there. So there's those marionette lines in these ones too. It's whatever. But remember, lightness pulls out and darkness pulls in. Contouring, chiseling into those cheeks, we put that dark in. We don't put a brightening in there. And then we pull everything out and it's nice and light. Makeup will always look like makeup. It should look like good makeup. It shouldn't look like you've got so much on. It should look natural. It should be an extension of who you are and an extension of your skin. And however you put it on, I like showing makeup that is achievable and that for me, if I'm gonna go out, I do my makeup like I do every day. I just add a little extra depth to my outer corners of my eyeshadow and I redo my lipstick and I'll maybe add an extra bit of pink. That's it. I'm not adding a bunch of shimmer. I'm not doing a deep smoky eye. I just add little touches. A little touch here and there elevates a look so much. It's like wearing flats and wearing heels. They could be same black shoe, but one has a heel and one's a flat. It's just that little extra extension that could just make the difference. And that's it. It's like having your hair down and having your hair in a ponytail. Having a ponytail, having a top knot. It's whatever you want. Being yourself is key, not trying to look like another person, but doing your makeup that's true to who you are, that makes you feel the most confident is it. All right, I'm gonna set this and I'm going to use, I've used the heck out of this. I even finally bought the full size, but I'm a big proponent of if you wanna try something, you get the smallest size, get the travel size. And that's why I like Saint, is because it's travel size pricing. Whereas if you're buying Merit because you really wanna try that cream makeup, this is $30 for just one foundation color. Saint is $16, and you can see how creams work, and you can get to know them at an affordable price, and you could get a full face for an affordable price. You can have your concealer, and you can have your foundation, and you can have your contours, and you can try those 3 out, and you can use powder blushes with this, but you can see how they work, and then you can get a palette to go with it to put it all in, because that's handy. Having everything in one place saves you so much time. And you can use one brush to do it all. But I'm gonna use the Professionals. I'm trying to see if there's any left in here. But we're gonna spray our face. This is toast. We're gonna spray our face. You want it good and damp, okay? Give everything a good shake. All right, so I'm using the Professional Super Setter by Benefit. Really good setting spray. I like Saint's setting spray, but their Fixate makes me look greasy. And I have oily skin. And so it's really nice finding something that is gonna work with oily skin. So the Professional Super Setter is really good. I like the Plush and Prep. There's Blue Marble, there's Charlotte Tilbury, there's Urban Decay. There are so many great setting sprays out there. Urban Decay, Charlotte Tilbury, Benefit all have travel sizes. Try them. I don't get paid to use them, but if you have, oh, another one that I've found that's very affordable is Thank Me Later. It's probably my last choice, but it does work if you're on a budget. Elf also has a good one. Their bottles are very small, but I I really like, I say get a travel size of something you're wanting to try and see how you like it. A lot of people really prefer the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush one. Get the travel size and try it out. But I'm going to use Benefit. We're going to spray our face. It has a very fine mister. I love the product, hate the mister. I have to get this thing so flipping close to my face. You want your face good and damp. Take a fluffy brush, like a shape brush, a blush and bronzer brush, press in your setting spray. Press it in and get it in. That picks up excess. It also marries everything together really well. That's it. Makeup is easy. Makeup should be fun. Really inhaled some of that spray, that stuff. I like the sprayer on the travel size better. I say get this. This is another thing that I like to do. I do this for my hair product. Is I buy the travel size and I'll buy the full size and I just refill the little bottle. That sprayer is way better on the travel size than on the full size. And why do they do 2 caps? Hey. But if you're looking to try creams and you don't want to drop, I mean, OG is a brand. It's $64 for one color. You can get your whole face for less. With Saint, you also get palette credits. The more you add, you'll get a discount off of your palettes, and they have so many different sizes. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, my gosh. My pick is always an 8 to start if you're really wanting to get the bare minimum. And then my other favorite, I don't even know if I have one here. Oh, is a 12. So my favorite are these 2 sizes to start out with. They're a double decker. A 12 holds 12 full sizes and an 8 holds 8 full sizes. Eyeshadows are half the size of a full size. And so you could easily have your whole face here and you can have 6 colors at the top, and then you could easily fit 12 eyeshadows down here. So everything is customizable. It's so good, and I think it's worth it. So message me if you want to try it. Click the link in the description. Please subscribe, say hi to me, send me a message. I love talking about makeup. I don't know if you've noticed that. I like just talking. That's why my whole life is full of words. But I love talking about makeup, and I love finding a palette that's exactly what you want, not what I want. I recommend everything. I'm not pushy. I hate MLMs. Now, Saint's an affiliate program now, but I know it has that taboo of it used to be an MLM. I think there can be bad MLMs and there's bad MLMers. And same goes for affiliates. You reach out to somebody, you don't want to get hounded 2 days later because you're still, I mean, I got color matched. I waited 6 months before I bought. 6 months. I get it. So when you message me with a color match request, I will send you your matches, and I send a big list because you can get just the basics, which are very clearly marked, and then it's a place to reference when you're ready to grow, because I'm not going to bother you again. I'll color match you and leave you alone. That's it. You asked, I give, I leave. That's it. Because I've had people hound me and message me and call me and text and show up at my door, and I will never buy from them. I may want the product, but I'll find someone else that's not going to do that. And that's how I run my business. I like getting on. I like sharing what I share. Take what you want, leave what you don't. Be here if you want, don't if you don't. I just like sharing about it, and I like making women love their faces again, because it's all right there still. That face we thought was gone is all still right there. And finding the way to make it there again is, everybody's like, my skin got dry, it got dull with maturity. You just got to find the right product, because it's all still there. It's all still there, and we just get to enhance it in a little. We can't do our makeup like we did in our 20s. My cheeks aren't where they were in their 20s. They were way up here, and this thing wasn't here, and got to do things a little different. That's okay. But it's all still there, and we can still feel our best. And the best thing you could wear with your makeup is confidence. Like, a smile goes a long way. We've hidden a lot of things with smiles before or today, but our makeup is just an enhancement of who we are and what makes us feel good. We're not wearing it for anybody else. I know our husbands think we wear it for them. No, we might wear a color they like, but we're wearing it because when we walk by the mirror, we don't want to look sad. I mean, that's me. That's me. When I walk down the stairs, I got a mirror on my stairs. I don't want to look at myself and say, ooh. Ooh, ooh. I'll stop and look a little more when I'm not wearing my makeup, whereas when I'm walking by with my makeup, I'm like, good job. So that's it. That is it. I hope everybody has an amazing week. I will have tutorials rolling out this week. I'm going to try to do some eyeshadow shorts because not every video needs to be forever long. But I'm going to be putting some videos out this week. If there's certain ones you want to see, certain colors you want to see, please list them in the comments after the live, because when the live's over, these all disappear. So please list in the comments if there's anything that you want to see. If you made it up, I mean, if anybody's on the rewatch, I don't know if they make it the whole way, but this is fun. I love coming and doing my Monday lives. I don't know if I'll be back next Monday. My son is in town. I think he's leaving that day, so I might be having breakfast with him. So I may be skipping next Monday. If you are subscribed, please turn on notifications. I will list it. I do have a place. I can't remember what it's called, but I will update if I will or will not be here next Monday. But have a great day.